What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another early morning in the BrewLab with me, Lone Fox, your brewmaster in chief. And this morning in the BrewLab, as you can see, I'm coming at you from the Edge of Eternities early access event, courtesy of Wizards of the Coast. Thank you so much again for the invitation. A little bit different this time. We got to play it in our own client. This is the first time they're doing it this way, so some little hiccups can be expected. For one thing, the cards that are going to rotate during rotation, they weren't able to make it so that those cards have rotated in this event. So we've all promised not to use the old cards. But we've got this token, and that allows us to get into this early access standard best of one event. And it's been really cool. They've somehow removed some of the rules around the event so that you can actually change your deck. I thought when I first saw this, I thought we'd have to do a whole run with one brew before getting to change it. No, we get to go in, change it at any point during the run, change cards in the deck during the run. So perfectly sweet. Yeah, that's it. That's all I have as far as news and announcements. So now, without further ado, let's jump into the first of our early access brews. And of course, I had to go for mono green +1/+1 counters. Absolutely hammering people with this thing. Lots of new cards, but the key card is Ouroboroid. Went on the deck box as well. This is going to end up being one of my favorite cards from the set, I have a feeling. I wish we got the Selesnya Fastland still, or at least the Selesnya Shockland, because this would go great in that sort of a +1/+1 counters deck. But I think also maybe in the Golgari one we've been playing could be pretty nice. Yeah, but mono green is just where it's your starting point, because the mana just works so nicely, and your aim here is to try and somehow grow it so that the very first time it gets this combat trigger, it's as big as you can possibly get it, so that it puts as many counters as possible on all your creatures. And it includes itself, so it's very snowbally. I've had a match where I've put 2 on the board. Stuff just gets completely out of hand. But like I said, we need to get it bigger that turn. Best way of doing so, and it's the first thing that jumped into my mind when I was even looking at this during spoiler season, Warden of the Grove. 3 mana 2/2 with a version of the Endure mechanic from Tarkir. Says that at the end of turn it can grow, and then subsequent creatures you play on top of it, you get to endure X. And you almost never pick the spirit, you almost always put the counters on Ouroboroid, and that is such a nice play. But of course we run into problems of people with chump blockers, and so I had to put some tramplers. Trampler number 1 is the new Frenzied Baloth, freaking sweet. There's really not much to be said about this card other than it's just a solid banger, like just 2 mana 3/2 haste, boom boom boom. If it gets to stick around and you put more counters on it, if you top deck one later in the game and it enters, and then it's just really really nice. And it's got trample, which is essential. Another card with trample is Paw Patch Recruit, which is a perfect fit for the deck because it also puts counters around on things, which is what we want to do. What else? I'm kind of just going through the creatures now. Very sneaky reprint here in Gnarled Colony. This is actually our finisher. You don't really want to play this on turn 2 very often, unless, it depends on the matchup, but this is the thing you hold in hand until you're ready to go for your Alpha Strike. And if the opponent thinks they're going to chump block, suddenly you just play Gnarled Colony. All of your creatures with +1/+1 counters now have trample. You almost never kick it, although you can occasionally. Other ways of growing Ouroboroid whilst we're at it. Innkeeper's Talent, of course. Make sure you order your triggers so that at the beginning of combat, this trigger goes onto the Ouroboroid before Ouroboroid puts its counters on everybody else. And last but not least, we've also got Overprotect as a nice little bit of like pre-combat, put it on the Ouroboroid, gets massive. It doesn't count how many counters it has on it, it just counts how much power it has. So any other way of growing it is also legit. Yeah, that's it. There's only 2 new cards left for me to talk about. First off, Hemosymbic Might, one that I completely overlooked during spoiler season. This card is freaking sick. It is a great target for all of your +1/+1 counters, because then subsequent turns when it swings, it puts +X/+X until end of turn onto another creature, and X is its power. Even just going turn 1 Might, turn 2 Baloth is a 4 tough, you know, because swing with both, grows the Baloth by +1/+1, goes to 4/3, boom, boom. Freaking nice. Really, really cool card that I overlooked. And then last but not least, Terra Symbiosis. Just a good card draw engine. I like how it says may, because there's definitely a chance of decking yourself. Imagine, you know, those turns that you're popping off, and you put like 8 counters on something, you know, you draw your whole library. So it's got a may clause on there, which is quite nice. But yeah, this is a good way of drawing some cards in the deck, which is a very important part of Magic. Our utility land is Crawling Barrens, which is a land that puts counters. It's a very nice thing to, you know, untap, make it into a creature with Ouroboroid in play. Boom, boom. Really, really nice. Only 1 removal spell because it's early access. Let's jump into some games. See how the deck holds up. So far, so good. I've taken down CGB twice, like Asian Avenger. I'll post the stats at the end. I actually already recorded, and I had set my OBS canvas wrong, and the whole recording was freaking terrible resolution. My whole face was wonky, and the battlefield was all squashed. And anyway, I hope I fixed it this time around. Oh, that's the longest one I've had, but I guess I am moving a little bit into that time of the day. In Indonesia, it's getting early morning. Aha! Ooh. Yo, man always does such a service. Like, just 100 deck lists for everybody to try. Here we go. Boom. I feel like he always has these. Third land, Yakasha. Seems like a bit of a waste. Fingers crossed. Phew. Ah, bugger. What are the chances? Also, oh, they reprinted this. I think it's a reprint in whatever, Majiggy Majob. Okay, can you stop it now? Please? Swear, if you found another obliterating bolt. Ah, a bad top deck. Not a bad top deck. Off the top, what could it be? That is a beastie that can't swing. Whoopsies. Okay, well, can we just do this? Probably could have just swung with everyone. Just trying to turn on Delirium. And then top decking specifically. Oh no. What? Okay, I didn't do the math, but I'm okay with that. Math is for blockers. That's why they make that, you know, that's why they have that saying. That's why we have that saying. Ooh. Nice. The streak continues. I've won 2 events with this one, like, you know, where like I didn't get 3 defeats. Woohoo! We got there. Hillbilly! Oldest supporter of the channel, content creator himself. Go give him a follow. Absolutely love the guy. He puts his heart and soul into the thing. Art on this is so cool. Not all species on Avendo welcome the thawing of the ice. I don't know if that's worth your removal. Okay. Cool. Billy coming with the gas. I love it that it's uncounterable. I always forget, and then I see that little green. Okay. Cool. Hello, old friend. I think we just wait one more turn. and hope it's not, I mean, yeah, it can't quite yet be Ugin or something. But all we really want is for Warden here to survive. I worry about a sweeper. Woo! Okay. Ooh. Ooh, baby. I gotta love it. I love it. Ouroboroid. What a card. As you know, these early access videos are a little shorter, just so I can get more brews recorded in the 24 hours that I have. And there's only about 15 left. Okay, nice. Razor lives. Bit slower, but double Ouroboroid is potentially very nice. No, not my Warden. No! What a clown, dude. No point. What? That's quite literally the last thing I was expecting. Do it! Do it! Cool. What I thought. Oh my gosh! What was that? But really cool card. Want to figure it out. I'm sure it's got a home. But that, I don't think what the opponent was trying there is exactly it, perhaps. All right, final match, and then I have to get ready for a bit of work, unfortunately. Plenty more coming your way. Yeah, they're definitely getting a bit longer, these waiting times. The Kingdom of Baron continues its conquest of neighboring nations with the unsurpassed might of its airship squadrons. The crystals are true targets. Wow, that's the longest one yet. Which is cool. Like, that's really saying something. It shows how hyped people are for this set. Like, no matter what time zone, there's been, like, way more people. And that includes all of the, like, you know, I wouldn't say half, but, like, a huge amount of the people that play in this event just only play draft. So, like, you know, goes to show how many they actually managed to pull into it this time around. But yeah, this is the longest one yet by a long shot. It's getting the... There we go. Someone I'll say. Do not know. That is such a nice hand. Oh. Uh-oh. Not control. Please. Anything but control. No. I saw there was no stops being kept. Okay. Cool. Banishing light. Great. Okay, fine. Be that way. Banishing light. There's like 4 better options I can think of. Sure. Please, not a sweeper. Okay. Okay. Clown. You clown. Yes! Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it for this one. I do want to see if I can get some stats up on the screen here for you, because the lovely people over there at Untapped have done a phenomenal job of Voila. Chrome. There we go. And there we go. What? Okay. Power Dragon, Covert Go Blue, Swayze, Asian Avenger. The list goes on. I had a bit of a rough start where I was figuring it out. And then I made some main deck changes, and Gnarlid Colony was the key. Taking out the Bloomkin and putting in the Colony, and then just 14 for 3 since the changes. I think we can all agree that that's a pretty nice little score there. That is going to be it for this one, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll be seeing you all in the next one with another fresh early access brew. And until then, this is Lone Fox from the BrewLab signing out. Peace, y'all.